It's the summer of 2014, on a quiet road outside Jerusalem. A father is driving home with his toddler asleep in the back seat when the radio broadcast cuts out, replaced by the unmistakable wail of an air raid siren. He grabs his son and sprints down 4 flights of stairs into a subterranean bomb shelter. Inside, there is only the heavy silence of the concrete walls and the wait for a rocket to strike. This scene is a microcosm of a regional collapse. To the north, the Assad regime is using barrel bombs and chemical weapons on its citizens, and violent insurgencies have plunged all the surrounding borders into unrelenting warfare. Back inside the shelter, father and son brace for impact. Instead, they hear 2 massive thuds. High above, the Iron Dome missile defense system has intercepted the incoming rockets, neutralizing the threat before it hits the ground. While the world knows Israel for this kind of military tech survival, a separate layer of innovation operates beneath the defense shield. This is a vast network of engineers focused on solving humanity's most urgent crises. How does a country the size of New Jersey, trapped in a geopolitical pressure cooker, become one of the most prolific engines for global life-saving technology? In the early 20th century, writer G.K. Chesterton described America as having the soul of a church. Israel operates with the soul of a synagogue, a culture deeply informed by a prophetic tradition centered on active repair. This tradition is powered by chutzpah, a stubborn refusal to accept impossible odds or the word no. It is a trait that views every obstacle as a temporary engineering problem. Avi Jorisch lived this philosophy in 1993. After surviving a motorcycle crash, he was told he had a tumor sitting deep inside his brain. Doctors claimed removing the tumor would likely leave him paralyzed. Jorisch refused the prognosis. He spent years inventing an entirely new neurosurgical navigation device that allowed surgeons to operate safely, effectively cheating death. When an entire society applies this level of stubbornness to terminal illness or hunger, the nature of their technological output shifts from local profit to global survival. This drive is rooted in tikkun olam. Theology describes a universe where divine vessels of light shattered, scattering glowing sparks. Humanity's purpose is to gather them. Israeli innovators view engineering as the tool for this repair, starting with mass starvation. Shlomo Navarro developed the grain cocoon, a hermetically sealed bag that protects food supplies from pests and humidity without toxic chemicals. It is now used across the globe to secure the harvests of vulnerable farmers. In Nazareth, Arab-Israeli couple Imad and Reem Yunus developed a 3D navigation system for deep brain stimulation. Their technology allows surgeons to precisely target the tremors of Parkinson's disease, a breakthrough that transcends cultural and ethnic divides. These tools are forged in the crucible of necessity. Generations of historical trauma and displacement have forced a state of hyper-creativity just to ensure the next day's survival. This inherited pressure led Bernard Bar Natan to engineer the emergency bandage. Now a global standard, the device was specifically designed to stop massive hemorrhaging in the critical minutes following a traumatic injury. Extreme resource scarcity had a similar effect. Faced with a dry landscape, farmers here pioneered drip irrigation. By delivering water directly to plant roots, they transformed a desert into an agricultural exporter, a technique now used globally to conserve water. Existential threats and pressure do not crush this ingenuity. They act as the forge that hones these humanitarian tools to a razor-sharp edge. These innovators are driven by a shared, desperate urge to save lives, far outweighing traditional incentives like venture capital or social status. Other nations often fail to replicate this success because they attempt to copy economic blueprints while ignoring the underlying tradition of repair that makes the math work. The true engine of the startup nation is a profound sense of purpose, born from the very same pressure that threatens its borders. This tiny nation currently exports life-saving breakthroughs while trapped in a cycle of defense and territorial survival. Their culture was honed by this pressure, but it is currently constrained by it. Imagine the potential for the world if that same ingenuity were finally freed from the demands of conflict.